Good afternoon. So, uh, I love rolls. When I have roast and potatoes and all that, I like a good roll. Sops up all the gravy. However, there are other rolls that I enjoy also, and it has to do with nori wraps, if you know what that is, and bamboo and all kinds of good stuff. But there's also a role that you and I play every day. Um, that's where I really wanted to go with this because listen to Hebrews 11, verse 6 says, "Now without faith it's impossible to please God, for the one who draws near to him must believe that he exists and rewards those who diligently seek him." Then there's a familiar passage in verse 12 that kind of goes back to what role do you play in your family, in your school, in the group that you belong to, and especially in your church. There are a lot of roles that you fill. Since we have such a large cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside everything that weighs us down, the sin that ensnares us, and run with endurance, keeping our eyes on Jesus, the source and perfecter. He's the perfecter of our faith. So without faith, it's impossible to please God. And there are those who are enjoying their reward now that filled all of the roles that you and I fill. For example, right now, the role that I fill, I'm a husband, I'm a dad, I'm a grandfather, I'm a minister, a pastor, a friend, and I like to fix things. I like doing administrative things. So just like you may think that, what do I do? You know what? If you're the oldest sibling, then your role is going to probably wind up being a leader and a mentor. If you're not the oldest, then you're probably going to be one that's going to be a mentor to other children because you're learning, you're a disciple, and then you're coming alongside. And a lot of times you just offer a little bit of fun mixed in all the chaos. And you keep sometimes the lighter side of things. So sometimes that's a role. Sometimes a family or a church, you need somebody they just fix problems. Some people play the role of a wise steward. You know, a lot of people, they may be successful in everything, but they don't know how to handle their finances or anything that has to do with finances. But yet, there's somebody close to you in the church or in your family. Their role is to be the wise sage of advice that says, you know what, this is the best thing to do. This is the wisest investment. In friendships and relationships, there's always someone that God has given us that plays the role of the wise person that has discernment to say, you know, this is the area that you should focus on. So there are a lot of roles that we play. And there are a lot of roles that we eat. I know, yeast. One of the things we used to love in going to school back in the day, as soon as we walked into the school, in the cafeteria, they were making rolls, and we just couldn't wait till lunch because we knew we were going to have those huge, when we were kids, they were really big rolls. But nowadays, we'd want two. So let me tell you what I did. With sushi rolls, and I'm not talking about people have raw fish and all that kind of stuff in them. But this is basically rice and vegetables. And if you want to put protein in it, you can put, steak or chicken or just about any kind of protein you want. Just think of it as a whole different way of wrapping up a burrito, except we're going to use seaweed, but we're still going to have our rice and vegetables, okay? So what I did is, the rice is not in here now, but I used this my Dutch oven to make rice. If you have a rice cooker, that's even better because your rice is probably going to wind up being perfect every time. I would suggest, if you're not familiar with the rice, make sure that you get a rice cooker. The other thing, there are lots of tricks and things that you can find on the internet. One of the big deals is rinse your rice until the water runs clear through it before you make anything with it. And then you put it in a bowl. Make sure it's being cool, but keep a damp cloth over it so it doesn't dry out. And then as we're making these, for the rice, I topped it with a mixture of melted sugar. The rice is good. Melted sugar with rice vinegar. We use rice vinegar and melted some sugar and put some salt in there, and that's what we poured into our rice to make it delicious. So let's get everything that we're going to put in a wrap. And these are, I think once you get the hang of it, the kids, especially teenagers, y'all are going to really enjoy, because you can put just about anything in the seaweed. The reason I'm doing this a lot of times is because I don't like being sticky, and if I start getting too sticky, I put some of this on my hands so the rice won't stick on me too bad. So, and the reason this plastic is on my roller is because sometimes it just makes cleanup a whole lot easier. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to put some rice on here. I should probably be doing my fingers, but I'm trying not to make a huge mess. Okay, that's just too much rice, but that's okay. Because this is probably going to be good anyway. This is imitation crab. You can get the real thing too, and it's going to be just as good. Or you can put fried shrimp. Put you something crunchy in there, like carrots and maybe cucumber. And then I like having some avocado. Avocado's good. And we'll put some cream cheese on another one, okay? If you would like, you can dress it with sesame seed after we cut it. So I'm going to get a knife out for when we're ready to cut. So I'm going to begin by rolling this. All right. You see I'd rather not have the plastic on there, so if y'all don't mind, I'm going to roll this off real quick, and I'm going to take the plastic off because I like to actually feel it. All right, now here we go. Now roll it. All right. Now I'll get a plate. There's some other things that we're going to have with it. Right now I'm going to put some rice vinegar on my knife just to make sure that I can slice through this really easy. And, yep. It helps to have a sharp knife. Okay. Now with these, what we'll do is we'll put those on the end. Dress them up. Now, there's that. We'll put some sesame seeds on there. We can dress it a little. If you like ginger, some people don't, but we do, and I won't put a lot because I don't want to hide the taste of. There we go, of the rice and everything else that's on it. So we'll only put the ginger on a couple of those. Another thing that we have, let's come over here. And what I did earlier, Okay, what do? I had leftover chicken, so I diced some chicken up, and I put that in the skillet with some hoisin sauce, a little bit of soy sauce, some onion. I put some carrots in there with some cilantro and other green onions. Mix it up real good on a high heat, and that can be basically a lettuce wrap. So I'm going to have a lettuce wrap, and what are we going to dip these in? There's a huge variety, but if you have a friend who makes like homemade preserves and stuff, especially if it's ground up like pears, if it's pear. Did we used to do pear butter, right? Pear butter is delicious. So what I'm going to do is, this is pear and muscadine. So I'm going to use some of that. I'm going to put just a wee bit of soy sauce. And Susan got me this. This is like one of my favorites now. This is Kikkoman, the sriracha hot chili sauce. Oh, see, I almost licked that off my phone. I do not want to lick. I'm going to put a little bit in there. Yum Yum sauce tastes good just to dip it in there. That's just delicious. So I'll put that on a couple of them. Or maybe more. This is going to be good. And there we have some wraps. Look at that. Rice and vegetables with fruit, because I have pear. Oh my goodness. We're going to make some of these with cream cheese in a little bit. You can put the same thing on your lettuce wraps. Yep. That's going to be delicious. Y'all, once you start making these, the cool thing is you can have, once you have your rice, you can invite people over and just say, hey, bring some crab, and the next person maybe bring another something. So if you have 5 or 6 people coming over with different fillings, you may want to have 2 packs of these and a little bit more rice. But I'm telling you what, whenever, you think about what role do you play. Some people, whenever you plan as a host or as a cook or somebody that just likes to fix things, there is a limitless opportunity when God says, hey, I really want you to do this or that. And whenever you're listening to Him, y'all, the roles that you can fill in somebody's life is going to wind up being limitless. A limitless supply, as long as you have the great people in your life and you're able to minister to them. Just think about it. On this one, I'm going to put a little bit of vinegar on here so it'll stick to it just a little better when I roll it up. I know a lot of people do this a little easier than me, but there we go. There's another. There's another 8 bites. And I don't want to keep you from making your own, and I don't want to tear you from mine, because this is awesome. Look, there is a role that you play, an important role that you play in somebody's life. Don't underestimate it. Even if your role is being the best friend, or the best friend who has to correct somebody. God bless you. Y'all have a great evening. Let's have a roll. Let's just do it. Have a great evening.